And we're back. If you've been watching, you know that we're in downtime right now. We are going to continue with that. There's still a few runners who have yet to fill up their weekends, their off time, so to speak, with interesting activities. Who else is up to something that wants to talk about their downtime?
So I can jump in. So I want to try and dig up some dirt on my rival. So Freedom, the secret agent,
Mm-hmm.
he or they, I should say, got me in trouble. Part of the reason why I'm now blacklisted from uh, practicing journalism, I think they were somehow involved, and I'm not really sure how. And all I have is the name Freedom,
Uh-huh.
and I know that they're out to get me. So I want to um, dig in and see what I can find out.
Yeah, we had actually spoken a bit about your rival before.
Did I change it? Because I don't remember.
We talked about it briefly, and I guess we didn't make a note yet about it, so that's fine. We could fill in some details here. Do you already know things of use about freedom? Are we trying to establish what you know, or are we going to have you do something in the present to gather information, perhaps?
I'm gonna need to do something in the present because I don't have much more than a name, and
Hmm.
um, and it's not even a real name for that matter.
Hmm. Yeah, most of the names on your friends list are runner names. Occasionally, you end up with a real name. Um, I think in this case, Freedom is definitely a runner name, and they're pretty secretive about their life. That's why I kind of asked if you already knew something about them. Maybe your background will help me to understand where I should kind of set things
So
here. You know.
all I really know is I picked up a little bit that there's somebody um, they think they that somebody that I talked to thinks they heard that name at the Dirty Habit,
Hmm.
the bar, a bar kind of in the red light district.
The dirty habit.
Oh, it might be a red light district, but
So ooh, okay, so your former relationship with them probably see this the way that I always understood friends and rivals in Blades is kind of like the same thing that you might hear like being said in relationships, like in order to love someone you got to hate them, or in order to hate them you got to love them, kind of thing. It's like you don't just start off saying like, oh, they're my rival, right? There was something that was they were close to you at some point, perhaps, and maybe things went south. What was the relationship, the basis of your relationship prior to them being a
sure.
rival?
So this yeah, the rival was actually a pretty good informant of mine, and
Okay.
then
Hmm.
uh,
Trusted contact, then, it sounds like.
either either was playing me the whole time, or somebody kind of put the screws to them, and they turned on me.
Oh, right. Okay. So that's important to like establish, right? It's kind of like so the basis of why. Um, so there, I'm hearing trusted contact turned bad. Okay, so you probably know something about their dealings to begin with. But maybe that's what you're trying to find out is like the useful bit, the part that you can use against them. Like, what do you hope to gain out of
I
what you're doing?
I just want to find out. I mean, I've really just known the person by their name, so I don't know a whole lot about the person, but they had given me good information in the past. Um, so I really want to find out who this person is and um, why they turned on me. But first, I need to find out who they are.
Right? Maybe one answers the other. Um,
Right.
okay, so I guess we'll find out if your character can figure that out. Is this like a deep buried secret? Because I would make that complex. If so, Otherwise, I would say that this might be something you could learn by following them around, right? Like
Right.
find out who they are.
Yeah, I don't know how deep of a secret it is at this point, at least.
Let's say it's deep, or otherwise it wouldn't be worth talking about.
Oh,
So let's see what. Oh yeah. So like, I can tell you this: you might be able to learn how you can find out their name. I don't know if you'll learn their
okay.
name right away without doing something more intrudy, right? Like if you listen in on an important conversation, that might reveal the name. You know.
Right.
But I think what you're trying to do is actually just follow them around, right, and learn it. Perhaps by hustling? What's the approach that you would take? You know, I guess you could probably follow them around, and you know them well enough to be able to like see through like one of their disguises at least, you know, and follow them to a spot.
Yeah. So I know I know the bar that we kind of that they hang out at from previous times that I've worked with them and then followed them up after they gave me a lead.
Yes, the dirty habit.
Yeah. So I know kind of who the person is, what they look like, that they do happen to go to this bar. So I think I'll go to the bar and try and slyly talk to some of the the bartenders and some of the regulars there to see what I can find out about this person.
Absolutely.
And I can describe them. I can't necessarily I can describe them, but not necessarily what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know their name, their real name, so I won't refer to them by name, but I'll
Sure.
describe them and that kind of stuff.
I mean, it's probably that sounds kind of like risky. Just asking about the described character, like the risk being that they find out that you've been asking about them, right?
Right.
Actually, since they're a secret agent,
yeah,
the risk is probably more along the lines of something like you ask someone that gets them like made somehow. You know?
or whoever set me up. If it wasn't Freedom, and Freedom was just kind of leaned on to do it, it might be that person knows that I'm trying to track them down or something. So I think
yeah. Sounds like you're going to try to talk the information out of someone. Yeah.
so
Okay.
we'll try and hustle a little bit to get some to twist them around into giving me some information.
Yeah, hustle could do that. Convince someone to reveal it without revealing your identity or causing any issues for your contacts. That would be nice.
And I'm gonna, I'm going to start by kind of being over the top boisterous and
Okay.
and kind of make it a bit of a spectacle and distracting people, and then during the conversation, and then kind of drop those lines in here and there.
Yeah, you're absolutely distracting if you get someone engaged in conversation. So, yeah. So I guess we see you doing things that kind of attract attention a bit to start the conversation off. All right, and then you start to kind of like slip in the prying words to get the information out that you're trying to do.
Sure.
I'm seeing like a dimly lit
So
club.
I'll go ahead and
You're in the back
I'll
area.
go ahead and I'll go ahead and unroll then.
Yeah.
Maybe. Oh, there it is. I'm way at the top. So I got 4.
Right, a 4, a 1, and a 1. The 4 being the best means it comes at some sort of a cost.
Yep.
Let's see. I'm thinking a complication. or you end up in a desperate spot. I like complication because, well, ooh, desperate would be really interesting. The stakes go up, right? You kind of get a piece of the information, so you succeed.
Right.
What's left to do is to find out you wanted their name. I think you get another,
Correct.
I think you get another of their, identities, and it's like a clue to their name.
Okay.
So to find out their actual name, this basically gives you the end to do a long-term project to work on it.
Okay.
Also, the means to... It's complex to find the answer, in other words. Yeah, it's complex. So the
Right.
first complication is that you partially do it. So you have a reduced effect. And the second complication is that it's a complication, right? There's a clock to get that information now.
Right.
It's like there's several sets of names, and if you had all those names, then you could put the piece together and figure out what their name was, because it's probably a name you've heard before.
Sure.
Yeah. So freedom, you got like 1 out of 4 on the
Okay.
clock to learn their name, but it is a
All
long-term
right.
project clock, so you won't be able to continue working on that without doing something to change that fiction.
Let's see.
Unless you want to resist either of those. Does Eric want to resist?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, we're gonna let that ride then. So you sort of get the name. You get like one of their fake names. Let's give the secret agent a 003 dash T. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's their other underground name.
All right.
If you
So I
get
got the clock.
if you get the other underground name that they have, then the 3 of those names together, you'll be able to put together their name.
Let's be triangular.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Triangulate the fact.
good.
Do you want to work on that? That was not a downtime activity. That did not consume a downtime activity. That was just action.
Oh. Yeah. I guess um, I'll do some digging. So I'll set it up as a long-term project and um, use my remaining downtime for that.
Yeah, I think it's like the way that we know as players that happened is like um, freedom's handler. Like we see, like we get catch like a glimpse, like this much of their face from them
Sure.
of them like slurping on their drink, and then they're kind of like somebody's asking questions. They just down their drink and then kind of send off a little something.
Okay.
Like somebody's
Yeah. I'll
asking about
probably.
that old name you used to use.
Yeah. I'll probably hit the streets as part of a long-term project to see what I can find out.
Yeah, it doesn't raise any bells, any alarm bells, but we'll just say
Okay.
that's fictional backing for if later things
Yeah.
go wrong.
All right. So do I roll for the long-term project then? Do I roll just a
If you'd like to spend a downtime activity on that, yes, you
yeah,
just do that.
yeah.
Tell us how you're working on it. I guess maybe more of the same hustly stuff.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of hit the streets and try and make some more connections with that.
okay. I kind of said it might end up in a desperate position. Let's just say that if you spend a downtime activity, that's fine. That's fine. You'll avoid that being an action roll to do that. Mm-hmm. Do you want to bring in a
Same
friend or a
thing.
contact to help you?
I'm good.
Okay.
Since I already rolled, I'm good.
Okay. And
So
you got
let's
a
see,
5.
4 and a 5. That's 2 ticks.
Yeah, so 2 ticks, so you're at 3 out of 4 on that informational clock
All right.
there. I think you've gotten like the other yeah, you've gotten another one of their fake names. It's like Romina Jane Topoulos or something, some kind of name from
I've got to
the
leave.
Greek. Yeah, but
Sounds good.
their real name is in there somewhere. What's up, Scraigon?
I was gonna say, as a downtime action, if you had a new yin, you could try to improve the result, right? Does that work?
That would finish it, yeah. They'd also get that if they work on
If I had what?
money.
Oh, I don't have any. I lost it gambling.
Ah, as in character, also in life. Okay, got it. Okay, so no more need to spend downtime activities. We got some, or we got some more of those left.
I'm good. I think somebody else might still. I think they're maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought there was one that was going to come up.
There is a special item that I would like to acquire. Maybe that would be an appropriate project to spend some coin or rep on.
Now might be a good time for me to hit the other entanglement that we had from last session. Let's get that out of the way. Yeah, and then you can go about acquiring stuff. That was a friend or vice purveyor. I think we liked this hitting either Ty, the mastermind who was involved in the very first run, the one that didn't happen on camera, or perhaps Six Girlfriend, or Traveler.
Ty, I asked to help, and he ended up being unhelpful. But perhaps that's what drew attention.
Right, someone was watching Ty, and after you left, they end up pushing Ty around, asking them for something helpful. They're like, "What kind of jobs you been taking lately?" These are probably manning enforcers, so gang members wearing like big trench coats and big old boots. They've got pistols. They're packing multiple pistols in their jackets so they can do this when needed. Some of them have brass knuckles, pair of knucks, and I think they grab Ty after they're done cooking up some scheme in their office. They come down for like a bagel or whatever they eat on their break, and they think they're being nice and quiet, and then somebody just shoves them against the wall, and it's just like, "Yo, what kind of jobs are you taking?" Right, start beating them up, pushing them over, kicking them into the trash cans. They're like, "I just came down here for cream cheese and jelly." They're like, "We know what you need. We know you're working with the other side. Tell us." And yeah, it's pretty brutal. We hear trash cans hit the dirt, and like a cat mewling, all that. Let's see if they manage to resist questioning. Their fortune roll is going to be based on their criminality. They get 1 die if they're like a scrub. They get 2 dice if they're an average criminal, and they'll get 3 if they're particularly loyal to you, or they have a reason why they would be more valuable or want to not say something. In this case, Ty, aren't they your close friend? Are they a close friend?
Ty is my close friend, yeah.
Let's give him the bonus die then. And we said they're pretty much a criminal.
He's a mastermind. That tells me that he planned for this.
I mean, I could see that this might be one of those cases where, like, because they're your close friend and they're a mastermind, we know they're criminal. Maybe they get 4 dice. Yeah, to keep their mouth shut. Yeah, they don't say anything that might help someone else. Try to find out stuff about. Oh yeah, you still got a 4. They get beaten up. They must have said something that like, even despite their mastermindness, someone knew something, so they just end up beating them with an inch of saying something, but they don't. They don't say anything that adds any heat to the crew. Yeah, they resist being questioned and giving information, but they're hurt. They won't be too happy about that. Yeah, next time you go to visit them, they'll have like a bloody lip, and yeah, their arm's been twisted and their ankle hurts. They got tossed down the stairs, basically. But they're gonna be like, I didn't say anything. They were asking questions about what I've been up to lately, but I didn't say anything. That's what Ty tells you.
Nice. I'll bring him next time we hang out. I'll bring him a 6-pack. Like, hope that helps feel better.
What does Ty the Mastermind even look like? Are they like, like adepty, or are they like nerdy? Like,
I assume that he is a nerd. He's probably spends the majority of his time sitting in front of a console with various different interface methods and pushing buttons and talking to people and reading about stuff, and
the virtual whiteboard with like a huge network of
plan A through M outlined on the board.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yeah.
If you've ever seen the TV show Leverage,
of course. Yeah, of course.
The boss, right?
Oh, right. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, this is Ty. Like, they left at that virtual whiteboard. They pull off their visor, and that's when they got tossed downstairs. They're kind of skinny, pale skinned, maybe, or are they more of like a local?
Yeah, I'd probably assume that they're still pale. Yes, they are local, but they are pale. They don't see the sun.
Right, they don't look like a local. Most of the locals would be more of like a darker skin.
That white underbelly of the fish just never seen the sun.
Oh, right. Okay. Cool. Anything else we want to do in that scene? No. Okay. So moving on. I'm guessing there's more that we want to say to set up a run. I mean, it's probably there's some offers. We can see what those random offers look like.
I know we were supposed to help our fixer get his daughter back.
Yeah.
That's one of the things we were planning was
It was held by the Mannings.
Yep. On the city across the island. So
right.
Across the
Montego, right. I had asked you as players if you wanted to continue down that road or if you wanted to just pay the one and move on. So I understood it the second half, that was the second thing, but if we want to go ahead and say you didn't pay the one in the end, that's cool.
What did we want to do? Did we want to do that as a run, or did we just let
I think that resolves it without further angering the Mannings.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that would take care of it without further angering the Mannings. It just may come up later. I would say if you didn't pay them, there would be probably some repercussions starting. Either a clock on that, and then you go in the run, and you're facing danger that way. But yeah, if you just pay them, that solves that issue. It's one of those things that happens to runners, I think, is they get pushed left and right for their past transgressions, and sometimes that's your fixer. Your fixer's been involved in some stuff too, even though they're building your name and they're getting trusted more. There's still people that might hold leverage over your fixer. But yeah, that squashes it for them. They're like, oh, good. We don't have to worry about that. again, she's in Montego. Normally they don't hang around at her work or anything like that. And honestly, they just want me to continue feeding them jobs, it seems like. But this will push the danger away. She's usually in no real danger, but she makes good money over there in Montego. So thank you. Yeah, Hawkins is like blown away that runners are like throwing in behind him, even though they found out about his weakness. I think he's feeling good about having stabled this particular crew. As a job comes into him, and it's like need that opinionated crew for a particular job. So it's something up your alley, right? And the fixer is just like, yeah, a message comes in from Hawkins like, yeah, got at least one interested client.
Well, looking across options, I wonder if there is currently an opportunity to work on the claim for wage slave support. I could imagine going and doing some ghost busting for the people might be able to rally together that wage slave support claim.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you want to find that, we could see how much you've already gathered about that. Is this the sort of thing you've already been interested in, or is this something you just piqued your interest just now?
I think it's something that we'd be interested in, but what do you think, crew?
I'd be good for that. I mean, that is part of our whole thing, is we've been trying to increase our influence in order to push our points forward, our activism, bring it to the forefront and force the corporation.
Yeah. Right.
Oh yeah, this is also a connected claim to your fixer Hawkins. So that would mean you would definitely have an additional bit of information. Like I think minor details are already available, and maybe this is maybe I'm in my head I'm thinking maybe there's a fortune to decide how much, but I want to give you some basic information already, like that there is a. Ooh, yeah, there's a writer that is oh yeah. That's gonna be another thing that would be random. Oh yeah, okay. So there's a writer that wants to hire someone. They're in the civilian category of clients. And yeah, I think there's a run targeting a thief. Someone who's a thief. So that would be a fellow runner, most likely.
Is that related to our origin, bizarre hauntings and unrest due to the artifact expeditions?
Yeah, I think they've stolen the protective. They've stolen the protective bangle, which was to be worn by someone who would help to clear out that region of Kingston, which is Harbor View, I believe it's called, close to the airport, which is super haunted. This thief stole that bangle thinking it was just a piece of valuable jewelry, but it's actually the key component in an area-wide salt ritual sort of thing that would help to prevent as many spirits from entering the Harborview district, which currently is condemned because of all the spirits there.
Well, I think we should have a meeting on that.
Yeah.
I mean, they have to meet with a client and try to negotiate that job.
Yeah, I think the kind of work is probably not random. So in this case, it's probably locate. Yeah, it's locate that thief and recover the bangle. There is a twist So I think there's probably like your fixer's probably gonna warn you, right? Be like, be on the lookout for what the twist is. There's always something. This client doesn't seem to be providing all the details, but we do know that the good news is it's your kind of work. So yeah, twist can be something random that I determine, or I could just wait until the last moment when we do, when it's the worst time to figure out what the twist is. But yeah, there's something. I think me as a player, I want to tell you that the twist is definitely going to be something interesting. Like require free spirits haunt the location where you're going to be going. That seems pretty interesting. And your characters wouldn't know about that, basically. So if we don't do a meet, we could just bypass those. Okay, they're gonna pay you probably 6. It's gonna be you're not gonna know the twist. You don't know the real client. Cool.
And we Sick. You can do better than that.
So we're gonna get paid 6 for going after ghosts
and getting a claim
for grabbing the bangle. For grabbing the bangle and recovering that and giving them the bangle. That would be, if you do that, then you would get. Oh right, so you're going after wage slave support with this as well. Yeah, I think that's I think that. Generally, a claim is worth at least like 5 yen, maybe more. Yeah, they're willing to give you 1, just to like pay your costs if you do that. Because normally you would get paid like well for this, but if you give that money towards the back to the wage slaves, then yeah, you'll have their support. Because they'll have the bangle to be able to protect that area and make some money down there downtown, in the Harborview district. Yeah, that's definitely worth something for them. And having that claim, what does wage slave support give you? Is like bonus yen on future runs, I believe.
Yeah, it's bonus yen for runs. I think in a limited run here, it might be less valuable since it'll be like number 3 of our 6. So it's not going to necessarily set us up for the future that well. But I do think that as radicals, getting the people behind us is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is plus 2 yen for corporate or syndicate targets, meaning basically the people, yeah, they hook you up for throwing behind them. It also could be fictional power, right? There's times where you could use that. But the way that someone takes this away is definitely going to suck. Let's see. See, all the claims in the city are already currently controlled by someone, so you have to take that from someone. So,
which is in this case the thief, probably on someone else's protected territory.
Yeah, like expose the thief, then nobody works with them, so they lose that claim. But there's a faction that is back with that thief. I think it's probably Fast Jack. What it's called.
Does anyone else have any ideas for jobs or leads?
Okay.
Yeah.
Have to poke around to see what pollution or artifacts are causing trouble that need to be removed from people.
I only now noticed on our crew sheet that Traveler needs help.
All right.
Oh yeah, I did throw an immediate consequence on the Traveler thing where it went from some kind of like, we don't know when it's going to go wrong, but they're going to be a target for some kind of future complication, to it was an immediate, like there's a clock ticking, to Traveler going offline. So as complications of actions are taking, it'd be like maybe Traveler gets like hacked or something and they get taken offline temporarily, and that would make them unavailable until you do something to remedy that.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll
think
have to do that in other downtimes.
yeah, maybe it doesn't come up yet. Okay. So when we were doing a plan for a run, I guess I just wonder, what is the plan? I guess, do we want to go after this target, or do we want to try to have a meet first to describe more about the run? You know, do we like this detail being, I guess. Yeah, I'm kind of fuzzy on the plan.
Can Jensen would like to do some information gathering on the net, the grid, or I forget what we're calling it, but on the net. So he's gonna jack in
Okay.
just to see if he can find out any information on the thief. I think is what I'm looking for right now. You know, who are they working for?
What do you do to gather that information? I guess you go online outside of the meet, or you're trying to do this during the meet to try to gather information?
Outside the meet, I think, is we're gonna look into this guy.
Cool. All right. So I'm looking at Jensen. Jensen's got. See, I don't think it should be particularly risky to find out how much you know to start off with. I think you might know some details already. So to me,
Okay.
the interface sounds like the rating you're using. All right, you got some minor details already. Let's see, gathering info. Minor details would be like, you get some incomplete or partial information, but I think you do get the basics of a run. So like, we'll say that you've gone to meet the client somewhat, but you've already gathered this other info. And this would be like, you catch some signals which lead you to understand that that there is talk online probably about there being yeah, I guess there being a new player in town. Seems like the sort of thing you might be able to interface and find out. There's some kind of a new player in town, and then the rumor is that they're not new at all. They're really just using a name of another, of a fake crew to cover up who they are. And so I think that's where you catch the idea that you might be dealing with a client who's somewhat lying about who they are. They offer to pay you in like a company currency as well. That is kind of suspect. Yeah, like they're going to pay you in
Starbucks.
Yep. Yeah, and it's clearly like it's suspect. Like you're like, they put that forward really quickly. They were like, oh yeah, if you needed a down payment, we'll give it to you in this. And it's, it's Mexi bucks or something. And it's kind of like, why would Mexi Tech be interested in this kind of a thing? Unless it was like, oh, well, maybe they're trying to steal the artifact. They do kind of do blood magic stuff. And it's all just a red herring. Right. So they lie to you and conceal who the person is. You could, in other words, this is the sort of thing that runners aren't paid to figure out. But if you'd like to be that kind of a player to find out that stuff, sure. Or we could kind of assume that that's the sort of thing that remains hidden. You know, like the true client. But it's up to you to tell me what you think about this fictional future. Is that how things happen? How things go down in the shadows of future Earth, or is it different than that?
I think most of the time it probably is. You take jobs and you don't care who the job's for. But I don't know if our crew is down with that, given our focus.
It's a restatement of the original. Yeah, it's a restatement of that original question of like, because we had a session where we lost that recording, but there was a discussion where we were like, okay, do you care who the client is? And usually, yeah, or the target. Sometimes it's like who's the client, who's the target. Like your feeler vibes are picking up that this could be a juicy target. It could be really good. It could be really bad. So you don't know though. But I think as a player, you get to know that it's a target that is. It could be worth more because you have a background with them, right? It's someone that you already have a positive or negative relationship with. So maybe you could vie for more money. You know, if you were like, hey, that's one of our enemies, that's going to put us in jeopardy. I don't know about that. You know, but yeah, I guess that's one of those things that could go either way, right? So.
Does Emerald want to do more digging on that, or are we good with where Jensen has found out? Just that we know we're being lied to about who our client is.
Which is to be assumed, right?
Well, normally they're just anonymous rather than, completely trying to mislead us.
They're trying to pass off Mexi Tech dollars in the hat in the hopes that, if anybody talks about it, that they just, oh, okay, it was somebody related to Mexi Tech most likely. But it's totally not. It's probably Mexi Tech's rival or maybe a smaller company trying to pin it on the bigger one because Mexi's pretty big. They're one of the big 10.
You probably would end up being fine. Not fine with it, but probably wouldn't poke any further.
Yeah.
For now.
That's interesting. Yeah, the crew kind of gets like for example, like I'm making it clear to you as players that your characters do know there's something up. So that way, at least you have the opportunity to like act on it and try to do something to eke out more info. But if we're all cool with that, then it's cool with me. I think you.
Just need some money. He's broke.
Maybe Sick could dig more information out of him at the meet, or press him for more money, or do we just take it as it is?
I think we go to the meet and see what happens and see if we can press him. Say, listen, we know you're not being level with us.
Yeah, the meet might be interesting because then Emerald could maybe do something there depending on how that shapes up.
Oh, yeah.
Once there's a person to plug at.
Oh, that sounds fun. Yeah, we should come back then with a meet. I'll describe a client or some kind of envoy, the Mr. J or whatever, and we'll decide if that actually is that somewhere. Did you guys say okay to the halfway tree, your usual spot, or was it somewhere else this time?
I like the halfway tree.
Yeah,
I'm good with that. We're comfortable there.
Okay.
I would say we've caused a lot of ripples there lately. It feels like that. I think maybe we take a step back to some other location. I just don't know what that other location would be.
Oh, we got a list of locations in our handouts. One might be. Let's see. There's like the Smoke and Lager. Meat locations. Others include like Fontana Barbican. That's a Jamaican restaurant. The Quick Bite, Chinese place. Sky Lounge. That's a Japanese place. Kind of more fancy. That would be more like your character Emerald's style. The Sky Lounge, like all black, neon lights inside.
Maybe between the Japanese or the Chinese options, does the client maybe who we're meeting end up maybe picking between, like, we say, hey, we have like these couple spots. Where do you feel better?
Well, so you're 0-tier crew, and they're like, no, we should meet at one of our locations of our choosing. The fixer's like, they're kind of pushing back. They're saying, go down to Private Havens Consulting and get a room down there. They'll pay for it. Private Havens, is like a spot where you can get like a virtual like room, that you can connect through. You can do it at home, whatever. You can just rent the virtual space and they'll like make it look nice for your client that you say like their style and preferences and stuff like that. You could do that. You could just agree to do that, but that's their preference. And your fixer's like, yeah, they're kind of bigger time. They don't seem like they want to waste a lot of time. They were like, go to private havens or we're out.
I don't see any reason not to do private havens. Are they doing a virtual meet, or is it just the room that's virtual?
Yeah, they're like virtual, man. Virtual. Let's do virtual. We don't want to go in person.
You want me to go
Okay.
into the computer? Like, I don't fit.
What do you think?
Grinds will help hammer.
Okay. Do you want me to go on the computer? You know?
It's a bit more simple than that, ML.
Does it work better if I hit it?
It looks better when it's not working and you hit it. Then it'll be better.
All right, so virtual meet.
Cool. All right. I'll paint a picture for the virtual meet. The clientele wants they're probably so yeah. I said I was going to look at your faction list and kind of say build some of this in the background. I think it being.
Did you want to figure that out on our break, or?
I think I'm at least able to describe the client. They're a bit more of like they're wearing some kind of a suit. They're not wearing cruddy clothing or whatever. They look like they look the part. Like they could be an employee or some kind of a subsidiary employee of Mexitech Logistics, one of the more powerful megas based out of Mexico City.
Okay.
Yeah, they look the part, and yeah, I guess we'll cut on the halfway tree restaurant, the tree lounge. It's sort of shaped like one of those big round Nintendo trees, and it has a spiral staircase that goes up through the trunk of that, and there's like security at the bottom of that kind of check people at the door for, I guess, military weaponry. Like you can walk in there with a pistol and they're probably okay with it. It's supposed to be a safe zone, right? You're not supposed to shoot anyone there. If you do, then you got the Mannings to answer to. So it's like a sort of a honor system. Honor among thieves. You don't know who else is armed in there, but you don't get to the I think you don't get to the third floor where you guys went and met your high class client before with the VIP thing. I don't think you get up there without a more solid check. You know, like they actually have higher class clientele that meet up there that would expect not to be shot. So, you know, by random thugs. But yeah, so that's where I think we're seeing someone file into, probably the face, played by Eric. I'm guessing they're going to be there. And we'll come back on that. We're going to take, our second break now. And so we'll be back around 10 after. So stay tuned, folks. Okay, we're good.